Remember that sound? You know the one, that screeching dial-up?
Oh, yeah.
That symphony that meant you were about to enter the internet?
Exact.
And for so many of us, that also meant Netscape Navigator.
I mean, Netscape was the browser.
And you specifically requested this deep dive to really dig into its lasting impact.
Lots of people are curious about that, actually.
And we went all out for you, articles in French and English,
Wow.
historical accounts, deep technical analyses. I mean, we're talking the whole shebang.
That's impressive.
So
Yeah.
it's amazing to think that Netscape, even though it vanished from our screens, it's like this digital phantom.
It is.
Its influence is woven into the very fabric of today's tech.
It really is.
And
Okay.
so our mission today is to unearth how this browser, that many people might not even recognize, continues to shape the online world.
Totally. And that's what we're going to look at today.
Okay, so let's rewind back to the mid-90s.
Okay.
Picture this, the internet as we knew it was mostly text-based, clunky, and honestly pretty intimidating for the average person.
I can imagine.
But then Netscape bursts onto the scene,
Right.
and suddenly the web is user-friendly.
User-friendly.
How'd they pull that off?
Well, think about those early websites. Just walls of text.
Oh, yeah.
No images.
Yeah.
Confusing navigation.
Yeah.
So Netscape revolutionized the user experience by introducing images.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, right.
It was a force to be reckoned with, an economic powerhouse.
Yeah.
And it also established that growth over value mindset that we still see dominating the tech world today. You know,
Oh, interesting.
prioritizing rapid expansion over maybe actual profitability. And that echo really started with Netscape.
Wow. Okay. So Netscape made the web visually appealing and kicked off the .com frenzy.
Yeah.
But it's the tech they created that really blows my mind.
I know, right?
I mean, we use it every single day.
We do.
Case in point, JavaScript.
Uh-huh.
This language powers so much of the web.
It does.
From interactive maps to, yes, those pesky pop-up ads.
Can't forget those.
You hit the nail on the head when you mentioned your desire to understand things quickly. And grasping even a little bit of JavaScript is like unlocking a secret code to the internet.
It is. It's like a backstage pass.
It's everywhere.
For example, imagine you're on a website and you click a button that opens like a small window.
Oh.
That interaction, that seamless functionality,
Yeah.
it's very likely JavaScript working behind the scenes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So basically, learning a bit of JavaScript is like having a backstage pass to the internet.
I think that's a great way to put it.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Okay, on to another tech innovation that's woven into our daily lives.
Okay.
Online shopping.
Right.
Think about the last time you bought something on Amazon.
Yeah.
You enter your credit card info.
Uh-huh.
And you feel safe.
Secure.
Why? Because of a little something called SSLTLS encryption.
Exact.
And guess who spearheaded that?
I'm going to guess Netscape?
Netscape.
Yeah.
They were instrumental in making online transactions secure.
They were.
Remember that little padlock icon
Yeah.
you see in your browser bar when you're about to enter sensitive information?
Yes.
That's SSLTLS encryption hard at work.
Right.
Without Netscape's pioneering efforts in this area, e-commerce simply wouldn't be what it is today.
Totally different world.
No late-night impulse buys no two-day delivery. A very different world indeed.
Definitely.
I think we can all agree that online shopping, for better or worse,
For better or worse.
has become pretty essential.
It has.
And speaking of essential, but maybe not always for the best,
Okay.
let's talk about cookies.
Cookies.
Those tiny little files that websites store on your computer. Remember those preferences you set on your favorite websites?
Right.
Or how you magically stay logged in?
Yeah.
That's cookies at work.
Cookies doing their thing.
But of course, they can also be used to track your browsing activity, which raises those privacy concerns.
Oh, absolutely. That's the other side of the coin.
Right.
It's a classic double-edged sword. They make our online experience more personalized and convenient, but at the potential cost of our privacy.
Right.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
Where do you stand on the whole cookie debate? A necessary evil or a privacy nightmare?
That's a tough one.
It is something for you to ponder as we continue our deep dive.
Yeah. I'm going to have to think about that one.
What's fascinating is that Netscape's innovations went beyond just, the purely technical.
Right.
They had a profound impact on internet culture, too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
remember those early animated GIFs?
Oh, yeah. They were everywhere.
Everywhere. And Netscape played a huge role in popularizing them.
Absolutely. And something as simple as the back button.
Oh, yeah?
a staple of web browsing today.
Totally.
Netscape was instrumental in making that commonplace.
Yeah, shaping the way we interacted with the internet on so many levels.
Totally. And then, of course, there's the open source revolution.
Right.
In 1998, facing fierce competition, Netscape made a bold, almost unthinkable move at the time.
Okay.
They open sourced their browser code.
Wow, that was huge.
That was a watershed moment back then. Proprietary software was the norm.
Oh, yeah.
So giving away their code for free was revolutionary.
I can't even imagine what a gamble that must have been.
It's hard to overstate how much of a risk that was.
Really?
It was a huge risk, but it ended up shaping the future of software development.
Yeah.
This radical transparency directly led to the creation of Mozilla, the foundation behind the Firefox browser.
Right.
And while Firefox might not be the dominant force it once was, it remains a major player, a testament to Netscape's enduring legacy.
Absolutely.
So even in their decline, Netscape sparked a movement that continues to influence the internet today.
Yeah, it's crazy how one company's actions can have such a ripple effect.
It really highlights the power of open collaboration and the long-lasting impact of even seemingly small decisions.
It really does. Like if Netscape hadn't open sourced their code, who knows if Firefox or even the broader open source movement as we know it would even exist today.
It's a fascinating thought experiment.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about Netscape's influence on the technology and culture of the web.
Yeah.
But I know you're interested in the market side of things too.
Of course.
And this is where things get really interesting, especially for someone like you who's following the financial world. Think about the freemium model where you get a basic service for free.
Yeah.
But have the option to pay for premium features.
Right.
Netscape was a pioneer of that model.
Like the OG freemium.
And it's everywhere now, from Spotify and streaming services to all kinds of software applications.
Yep.
The freemium model has become a dominant force in the digital economy.
Totally. And it all traces back to Netscape's strategy for rapid growth, which was a major factor in the dot-com bubble.
Oh, wow. And then there's the early release, often concept.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley's obsession with constant updates and new features, another Netscape legacy.
It's that approach, focusing on rapid iteration and incorporating user feedback.
Yeah.
It's practically a mantra in startup culture today.
Totally.
It's all about getting your product out there, quickly seeing how people use it, and constantly evolving based on that feedback.
So while Netscape itself might be gone, its influence is deeply embedded in both the technology we use and the business models that shape our online experiences.
Absolutely.
Right.
But let's not forget about the human side of this story.
Oh, right.
Netscape wasn't just about code and business strategies.
Yeah.
It was also about people.
Right.
And specifically, its visionary founders.
Absolutely. The story of Netscape is inextricably linked to the people who built it, especially Mark Andreessen,
Right.
the co-founder.
Yeah.
He went on to co-found Andreessen Horowitz, one of the most influential venture capital firms in the world.
You.
Think about some of the biggest names in tech.
Okay.
Facebook, Airbnb, GitHub.
Yeah.
Andreessen Horowitz played a crucial role in their success.
Absolutely, shaping the tech landscape as we know it.
So the Netscape story, in a sense, continues through the individuals it inspired.
Right.
The people who took their vision and ran with it.
It's a powerful example of how entrepreneurial spirit, combined with a bit of timing and a whole lot of innovation, can have a lasting impact that extends far beyond a single company.
Now, we can't talk about Netscape's impact on Silicon Valley without mentioning their groundbreaking IPO in 1995.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
This wasn't just any IPO. It was a watershed moment that really ignited the dot-com boom.
Absolutely. Remember, this was before Amazon.
Yeah.
Before Google.
Right,
Before
yeah.
Facebook.
Wow.
Netscape was the first internet company to capture the public's imagination in such a massive way.
It was a signal to the world that the internet was not just a fad, but a force to be reckoned with, a potential gold mine for investors.
And that, of course, led to a frenzy of investment in anything and everything related to the internet.
Exactly. Netscape's success created a gold rush mentality, leading to a period of rapid growth. And let's face it, some pretty wild speculation in the tech sector.
Yeah, there were some crazy ideas out there.
Of course, that bubble eventually burst, but
Yeah.
Netscape's role in shaping the financial landscape of Silicon Valley, that's undeniable.
Absolutely. It's a classic boom and bust story.
Right.
But even in the aftermath, the impact of that period is still felt today.
It's fascinating how that works.
Absolutely. The dot-com bubble might have burst, but it left behind a fertile ground for innovation, a culture of risk-taking, and a belief in the transformative power of technology.
Right.
And you could trace those roots back to that pivotal moment when Netscape went public.
So even though Netscape itself didn't survive the dot-com crash, its influence on the financial world, particularly in Silicon Valley, continues to reverberate.
It's a reminder that sometimes even failure can be a catalyst for future success.
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it?
It is.
Netscape's demise, in a way, paved the way for the rise of the tech giants we know today.
Right. It's a testament to the cyclical nature of innovation, how success often breeds competition, which in turn leads to new breakthroughs and disruptions.
It's a reminder that the tech world is constantly evolving and even giants can fall. But the spirit of innovation, the drive to push boundaries and challenge the status quo, that's something that transcends any single company or era.
Absolutely. Netscape might be gone, but its legacy lives on in the countless entrepreneurs and developers who continue to build the future of the internet.
And that's something to be excited about.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
We've explored Netscape's rise and fall, its technological innovations, its cultural impact, its influence on business models, its role in the dot-com bubble,
Right.
and the lasting legacy of its founders.
It's a pretty amazing story.
But there's one question that keeps nagging at me.
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're going to ask.
Me too. Well, what if Netscape had somehow won the browser war?
Oh, wow.
Avoided that clash with Microsoft and maintained its dominance?
Right.
How different would the internet be today?
Now that is the million-dollar question. It's impossible to say for sure, but it's a thought-provoking exercise.
It is.
Would we have the same level of open source software? Would the landscape of online privacy be different?
Yeah.
Would the dot-com bubble have played out the same way?
Right.
It's like peering into an alternate reality, a world where Netscape remained the king of the web.
It really is a fascinating thought experiment.
It is.
And it highlights how even small decisions or seemingly insignificant events can have massive unforeseen consequences.
Absolutely. The butterfly effect in action.
It makes you wonder about all the different paths history could have taken.
So many possibilities.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of exploring the past, especially in the context of technology. It's not just about dates and facts.
Right.
It's about understanding the complex interplay of decisions, innovations, and sheer chance that shape the world we live in.
It's a tapestry of events.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Netscape, we want to leave you with this every time you use the internet.
Okay.
Whether you're browsing websites, shopping online, or using a free app with premium features, remember that you're experiencing a little bit of Netscape's legacy.
Their spirit of innovation and their impact on the internet are undeniable, even if their name is no longer emblazoned on our screens.
It's a story worth remembering, a reminder that the past can illuminate the present and guide us as we navigate the uncharted waters of the future. It's mind-boggling to think how one company, even one that ultimately faded away, could have such a profound and lasting impact on the world.
I know. It really speaks volumes about the power of ideas, innovation, and, just being in the right place at the right time.
Right place, right time.
Netscape rode that wave of the early internet.
Yeah.
And even though they ultimately didn't make it to shore, those ripples they created, they're still felt today.
They are. And speaking of those ripples, let's bring it back to you.
Yeah.
You initially requested this deep dive to understand Netscape's lasting impact.
I did.
What are your thoughts so far? Has anything surprised you?
I'm curious to hear what you think, too.
Well,
What stands out to you as the most significant part of Netscape's story?
I think for me, it's the sheer breadth of their influence.
Yeah.
We've talked about technology, culture, business, finance.
It's a lot.
Netscape touched on all of it.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that innovation often has these unintended consequences.
Right.
These ripple effects that extend far beyond the initial intention.
The butterfly effect.
Right, and I think that's a key takeaway for anyone, not just those interested in tech history.
Absolutely.
Actions have consequences.
They do.
And sometimes those consequences can be world-changing.
Yeah.
Even if we don't realize it at the time.
It's true. So much happens behind the scenes.
So to wrap things up, let's leave our listeners with a final thought as you go about your digital day. Every time you see a website with those cool interactive features, every time you buy something online and you feel that sense of security, every time you open Firefox or use a free app with paid upgrades, remember that you're experiencing a little piece of Netscape's legacy.
It's true. Their spirit of innovation and their impact on the internet are undeniable, even if their name is no longer, front and center.
Yeah, it's a story worth reflecting on. A reminder that even in the ever-evolving world of technology, some ideas have a staying power that goes far beyond their creators.
Absolutely fascinating stuff.
It is. And that's it for our deep dive into the world of Netscape. Thanks for listening.